What's going on, everyone? Using Malforge here, bringing you guys another video for a deck build in Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is actually a rebuild of the Gishki deck. I didn't change very much, only a couple cards, but I figured it was still worth going over because they were some pretty big changes. Took out some limitations and added in some things to help counter other stuff a little bit better. So let's go over the deck. I can't remember if I actually went over it the last time that I made a video for this, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it right now. We have two effect veilers. Now these are essentially hand traps to be able to stop monster effects during your opponent's turn. You discard this, and then it basically nullifies the effect of a monster that is on your opponent's field. But it's also a level 1 tuner, which you are going to need to be able to synchro with Zilgigas to get Star Eater on the field. Star Eater can attack without being affected by any card effects. But also, your opponent cannot activate any cards in response to its attack. So, that's good as well. And so next we have Gishki Vision. You want to make sure to have 3 of these for the consistency of this deck in getting out Zilgigas as quick as possible. Basically, you discard this and it gets Zilgigas in your hand from your deck, but you can also use it to use as the entire sacrifice for the ritual summon of Zilgigas itself. And here we have 3 Gishki Aerial, and this is a really good defensive monster, 1800 defense. Whatever it's flipped over, you can activate its effect to add a Gishki monster from your deck to your hand. And this can be any Gishki monster that you want. I mainly use this to be able to get either Vision or Shadow in my hand if I don't already have one. Or if I do have that, I will get Gishki Amounts, which we'll get to that here in a minute, what that does exactly. Next we have Shadow, and this is to search your ritual spell cards. Be able to get those in your hand by sending this to the graveyard. This has the same effect as well as Vision in the sense that you can use it as the whole tribute for your ritual summon. And then we have 2. Oh, by the way, that's 3 Shadow that you want for consistency. And then we have Gishki Beast. You want 2 of these. You could run 3 if you want to. You're gonna be having to leave something else out though, because the deck runs really well with 40 cards. You don't want to go over 40, because that would be a huge mistake. But Gishki Beast, when you summon it, it summons another level 4 or lower Gishki monster from your graveyard in defense position. You can still use the effects of the monster that is summoned as well. So you could summon Gishki Avance, and I guess I'll go ahead and go over what that does, because you want 2 of these as well. Gishki Avance, once per turn, you can search a Gishki monster in your deck and place it on top. And that's going to be really good for the effect of Zilgigas, which Zilgigas, you pay 1,000 life points. You draw a card. If it's a Gishki monster, you can send a card on the field back to the deck. So that's good for bouncing your opponent's cards back. But you can summon, normal summon Gishki Beast, special summon events from your graveyard if it's in there, and then you can activate its effect, add any monster you want onto the top of your deck. And then you can also use these to XZ summon as well. And we have Tragodia. Tragodia is mainly used as a level 10 for the sacrifice to get Zilgigas on the field if you don't have anything to be able to do that. So it's basically just used for that. You can use it to be able to kind of block your opponent. I've had situations where I've been able to do that before. And to sacrifice to be able to summon or take control of your opponent's monster. So that's good as well. And you have Zilgigas, of course. This is the main monster of the deck. For 3200 attack, 0 defense, you want to make sure this is always in attack mode. Activates effect, I already explained it before, 1000 life points. Lets you bounce back a card if you draw a Gishki monster. But also, it's worth drawing into your deck anyways, because you can still draw all these other good cards. And it's a +1 from your deck. You know, you get an extra draw basically. So, it's gonna be really useful. We have only one Mystical Space Tycoon. And the reason why we have one is because I originally ran 2, but I took one out for Harpy's Feather Duster to cover a wider range. And I think that was a really good addition into the deck. So, you already know what this does pretty much. It's a quick play. You're able to pop a back row on your opponent's field, with your spell or trap, completely destroy it. Okay, we have your Ritual Mirrors. These are the Gishki Aqua Mirrors, Ritual spell cards. And so this is going to sacrifice to get your boss monster on the field. You have Salvage. And Salvage is going to target 2 water monsters with 1500 attack or less in your graveyard and add them to your hand. This is really good for recycling Vision and Shadow, but you can also use it to recycle Aerial, Advance, or Gishki Beast if you need to. Also, if you have Aquamirror in your graveyard and you have a Zilgigas in your graveyard, you can send Aquamirror back to your deck to add Zilgigas to your hand. So that's a good way to recycle as well. Harpy's Feather Duster destroys all your opponent's spells and traps. And then 2 Dark Holes to get rid of, you know, if your opponent's monster is just completely swamped, or your opponent's field is swamped with monsters, and destroy all of them. We have Forbidden Lance to basically drop 800 attack off of Zilgigas, and then it can't be affected by other spells and traps whenever it's activating its effect or attacking. 2 Mirror Forces to destroy your opponent's monsters when they attack. Torrential Tribute, basically when a monster is summoned, you can activate this, destroy that monster, or other monsters as well, anything on the field. And then Bottomless Trap Hole to banish a monster that is summoned. Pulsar Excavation Unit is really good for bouncing monsters back, sending them right back to the hand. Breakthrough Skill is really good, cancels out your opponent's monster's effects, but also during your turn you can banish it from the graveyard and get another effect cancellation. We have Diamond Direwolf, sacrifices itself to get rid of a back row or just any card on the field, so you can destroy a monster if you want. And we have Abyss Dweller, stops effects in the graveyard by sending 1 material to the graveyard, and it also boosts, as long as it has material, it boosts your water monster's attacks by 500. Gaga Cowboy is basically, if you need an easy monster to get out that can get an attack boost. So it gains 1000 attack when it does attack. Also, the opponent's monster loses 500 attack during the damage step only. But defense position, inflict 800 damage to your opponent, so you can do effect damage as well. The Black Ship of Corn is to destroy monsters that, I believe it's, let's see, targeting opponent's monster with attack, yeah, less than or equal to. So, that's equal, like 2100 attack to this card or less, it can be destroyed, your opponent takes 1000 damage. The Shark Drake, you need 3 level 4s. It's possible to get the 3 level 4s on there, but I wouldn't count on it a ton, although this can be useful, as it, so you can basically special summon the destroyed monster, So you destroy your opponent's monster, special summon it, and to your opponent's side of the field, in attack position, it loses 1,000 attack. And if you do, then you can attack it again. And then we have Utopia, which negates attacks. Leviathan, Leviathan Dragon, gain 500 attack when you remove a material. So it's just a offensive monster. I already explained Star Eater. You have Silent Honor Arc, and this is going to be able to help you nullify monsters that have been special summoned on your opponent's field. You can add them onto this card as material, or you can stop this card from being destroyed just by removing one material from it. Or, well, it has, yeah, just by removing one material from it, as long as it has material left over. This right here, if a monster has gained attack, like if its attack is higher than its normal, you can destroy it with this by removing one material. And then you have Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, Gustav Max. I used to run 2 of these, I took one out. But this is just going to be, you overlay your 2 Zilgigas, and then you can detach it, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. And this is what I took the Rail Cannon out for. Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. 3 level 10 monsters, so 3 Zilgigas basically. It's easy to get those out. You can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls, and then your opponent can activate spells and traps in response to its activation. So it's basically like a Harvey's Feather Duster, but they can't activate anything in response to it. And then we have Sky Palace, Gungardle? I don't know. Anyways, this is going to be really good for inflicting 1,000 damage and destroying an opponent's monster. However, it cannot attack the turn that you activate its effect. So, yeah, that's going to be the deck pretty much, guys. I took out some stuff, and I think I made some pretty good additions in place of those. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Later.